Good morning, everybody. This is Scott Woods, Transportation Training Group. We're continuing our series that we're uploading to YouTube on finding your customers for produce, also building relationships with those produce wholesalers and or trucking companies that will transport this. This video is going to be for you new freight brokers, you new freight broker agents, you trucking companies, you owner-operators. All right. I've been in all phases of this industry. I've been training people for 20 years. We have without a doubt, the top freight broker training program in America. So if you guys ever want to get into the business, we can definitely help you and show you how to become profitable very quickly. Trucking companies, I'll show you how to get profitable freight. All right. Because we all have our different reasons for doing this. All right. Well, I'm on terminalmarkets.com. All right. Remember the website, terminalmarkets.com. Now, for those of you who do not know what a terminal market is a centralized location within major cities throughout America where a number of produce wholesalers, fish wholesalers, this is where they are located. These are the guys that are basically hiring trucking companies to go pick up their produce out of Florida or California or Texas, Washington, what have you. Anytime you're dealing with your customer and he says, well, all that freight is customer routed, all right? That's because these guys at these terminal markets, the end users, are scheduling their own trucks. Now, right here, I want you to look at, I'm going to click this link where it says markets. Now, these are not all the terminal markets in the country. These are some of the most popular. And you'll see a link that says NYC Terminal Produce Market. That's better known as Hunts Point in the Bronx. You got the Brooklyn Terminal Market. You got the St. Louis Produce Market, which is down over in Soulard District. You know, you got Philadelphia's big produce market. And that thing is really grown. It's really, they got a lot of wholesalers there. All right. Pittsburgh, I love Pittsburgh's terminal market. There's actually a great little oyster place down there I go to every time I'm in town there. But then you have like the Boston terminal market that's referred to as the Chelsea market, the Maryland wholesale produce market, which is Jessup, all right? And then you have like the South Water Street market there in Chicago. You know, these are where your wholesalers are located. Now I'm just going to go ahead and pick one, St. Louis Produce Market. Going to click that link. Well, what do we got here, people? You're going to look at some of the people here. In all these terminal markets, there's always like a USDA inspection service on site because once the trucks get there with the loads, and let's say, you know, these reefers are coming in from Texas or California with this freight, and they were supposed to run a continuous temperature with that specific freight. A lot of them will go cheap. And what happens is instead of running that reefer continuously, they'll shut it off, they'll turn it back on. It might create, you know, an issue with a possible claim with produce. It'll start to sweat or whatnot. And when you're looking at the peak period of the year, when these loads are coming in, these guys are paying a pretty good penny. So they're going to be very picky on these trucks. They're going to look for any reason they can to get that freight rate down. All right. So you have to reiterate to your trucking companies, I wouldn't suggest basically going cheap. If they say run it continuously, because what's going to happen, they're going to put these cheaters in there. What a cheater is a pulp thermometer. All right. And even though if that truck shows up with a reefer showing this temperature on there, that pulp thermometer is placed in a pallet full of produce somewhere that only the shipper knows about. That way, when he gets on site, that truck does, they'll pull that pulp thermometer and give a history of what's happened throughout the run. Now, as you're looking at this right here, they have the main number for the produce market, but right here, you're also going to see all these different wholesalers. Sherman Repack Produce, Vaccaro and Sons Produce, Adolfo and Ceresia Produce, you know, and you got their phone numbers. Well, there's your customers, people. These are the guys who are scheduling the trucks. These are the guys who are buying that produce from these different produce areas. It's not hard finding your customers. You have to learn about the industry. All right, these guys are going to use your reefers, depending on where that produce is coming from. Some will use flatbeds with sides and tarps. Some will use vented vans. All right, whatever type of equipment is going to be needed for that produce and whatever the growing season is. All right, this is the video for our terminal markets and what a terminal market is. Check out our website at www.freightbrokertraining.com. www.freightbrokertraining.com. We'll get you profitable quick. I'll show you how to make money in this industry. Have a great day. Scott Woods here, signing off.